Hello and welcome to the new beginning we have all been waiting for. I'm Dae, this is Daylight Healing Oracle. Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about the Scorpio New Moon. Now, if you have been staying up to date with my videos on the eclipses and the nodal axis and the north and south node of the moon, then you will understand that we have been going through a great epic evolutionary change. I use those words pretty often. And what this really is talking about is the process of the energetic shadow coming to light. So the Scorpio new moon here, this is closing out a 2-year cycle of changes, of being faced with our shadows, of going through the dark night of the soul to come out on the other side transformed in a new place, in a new environment. I want to pull one of these cards from the universe as a message here. Dearest you, are you taking yourself and your problems too seriously? Maybe fear of the future is weighing on you. We would like you to take a break from all that and start having fun. When you stop fixating on what has been making you heavy-hearted, we get a chance to move some magic in your direction. We just need you to let go a little. Spirit needs some room and gets very inspired when by your laughter when you have fun. When was the last time you got really loose, silly, and goofy? Maybe you need to go dancing or watch something very funny, some comedy to make you laugh, or call the one friend you know will remind you how ridiculously and delightfully giddy you can be. You will return refreshed and renewed and ready to once again see the world as less daunting, and you will be ready to receive in perfect timing the bounty that Spirit has for you. Don't you just love how much we care about you? Well, I think that is just such a beautiful message for this new moon. Let me put this phone right on here. So, in the full authenticity of Scorpio, I am here on the only part of my house that has any heat. So I am bundling up and I'm staying as warm as I can, and I'm just showing up to do this reading right now. This card just fell out. Bring love into the situation. So let me talk a little bit about the astrology that's happening during the time of this new moon. So we have got the new moon and the moon and the sun, obviously, in the sign of Scorpio. Also the planet Mars in Scorpio. And the original ruler before Pluto was the ruler of Scorpio was Mars. It was known as the underlying side of Mars, the frozen waters. So the sign of Scorpio has 3 stages of the transformation. The first is the scorpion, the second the eagle, and the third is the phoenix. The scorpion can, lash out and sting, and that's the lower energetic side. And then the eagle learns to fly and individuate. And one thing that is really interesting is that when the male adult eagle must go and become the bald eagle, they actually must go through this process of molting, where they go up to this rock and they must literally smash their beaks against the rock. So it is the antithesis of what their survival instinct is telling them to do. And only through that may the transformation fully occur. So in this society that has told us to shun our shadow, to stop ourselves from feeling the depths of our soul, to do that is such a revolution, is such a rebellion, to feel everything strongly. But this means that we are not held captive by the emotions. We are allowed to move through them because we know that it does not define us, but that these are just waves of energy that need some place to go. So as we learn how to integrate our feelings, we are really learning something that we were never taught, and we are doing the antithesis of what we were taught in most instances. The shadow, everyone likes to talk about shadow work. Well, let's talk about the subconscious mind. I'm just fixing this little scarf that I had that I was sleeping with. Because how do we move forward when parts of our ego want us to be perfect, you know? Like, how do we allow ourselves to just create like little things, you know what I mean? Like, and it seems like every time we notice one thing that we can fix, we try to fix everything else. And then look at that. It just ends up tangled and it doesn't make any sense until we see a way through. Most of our time on this earth, we have been taught that the feminine parts of ourselves are not worthy. Our intuition, our emotions, our sensitivities. We have been taught that the physical realm, that succeeding in the physical realm at any cost is more important. But what happens energetically? What happens energetically when you step on someone to further yourself? Do you think that energy does not go anywhere? Do you think it will not come back to you? Everything is energy, and that is the great lesson of Scorpio, and that is the great lesson that we have been faced with during the Scorpio South Node these past 2 years. So we have officially moved to the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, but we are still working through the integration of the Scorpio shadow period, okay? In this full moon, in this new moon, we also have Venus in Libra, in the sign of Libra, who is looking for balance. And Venus has gone through a whole retrograde and reintegration where we've been faced to look at how we treat ourselves and how we allow others to treat us and what our expectations for others are. And if that matches how we actually are showing up for ourselves. We also have the whole transit that we have gone through with Taurus and the North Node. Taurus has had Uranus, this planet of sudden evolutionary change, and now we have Jupiter in Taurus as well. So before we fully let go of these lessons from the North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, we are being faced with how have we shown up for these lessons? How have we integrated this? How have we integrated this into our daily lives and what we put value on? This might come with a lot of deep pent-up emotions because we have Mars right here in Scorpio with our moon and with the sun, and we are being faced with everything that we have felt. How have we allowed ourselves to view our worth? How have we allowed others to treat us based on our worth? What do we place value in? Do we place value in the physical above the energetic? Because the energetic will always come back. Everything is energy, and everything that is energetic will manifest in the physical. So putting our faith in the physical over the energetic is how we get lost. So as we are faced with this new nodal axis, the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, I want to talk a little bit about the planet Mars, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, and it was the original ruler of Scorpio, and it's very active in this new moon. The North Node is in Aries, as is Chiron, the wounded part of ourselves. So in our determination to self-actualize, we are going to be faced with the very most painful aspect of what we have been given to learn about how to stand up for ourselves, about what area of our lives is what holds that thorn in our heart, that we are the only ones who cannot heal within us. So we heal it in everybody else. So I'll give you an example. My Chiron is in the 7th house. And I have 2 signs in my 7th house. I have the sign of Cancer, which is the cusp of my 7th house, but then I have the sign of Leo, and that is where my Chiron is. It is in the sign of Leo in my 7th house. So that specifically pertains to, if you want to talk about the 7th house, that is ruled by Libra. Relations and being seen in connection and, close connections, family connections, friendships. The sign of Leo, expressing myself. If you go into my chart, it's very, it's really interesting, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But the sign of Leo has my Chiron in the 7th house. So that you can see is that as I express myself, I have felt that in my true authenticity, I cannot be seen. That those in my family or in friends groups have been threatened by my authenticity and by my light shining. So in order to stay friends or stay family or stay connected, I must dim my light. So in that, I have had great pain, but also I have found that something that I always do and I always am driven to do is to see others in both their shadow and light, and to allow others to fully express themselves. So because I feel like I couldn't fully express myself, that is what I always bring to others, and the healing that I often bring in my relational dynamics is allowing others to fully express themselves. So you can look at where your Chiron is placed, and that is going to be pinged heavily by this North Node in Aries transit over the next 2 years. So whatever house and sign your Chiron is in the house that's going to be the area of life, and in the sign is going to be the dynamics of the energy. And, you can get a lot of insight by understanding these levels in your chart. So I just want to talk a little bit more about the shadows that are coming up right now and what we mean by shadow work when we talk about the Scorpio energies, because Scorpio can be quite a daunting and intimidating energy. It is the taboo, the 8th house, magic and sex and everything that we kind of put into the cave, into the caverns that we don't want to deal with. But this is also referring to our own inner feminine nature. Our subconscious mind is our shadow. 95% of what happens in our life is made by the subconscious mind, and we pay no attention to it. But we wonder why things keep repeating themselves and why we feel stuck in old patterns. We have the power to change this, and it is by working with the uncomfortable emotions, allowing ourselves to ground in a safe space before we force ourselves to do so, connecting with what it is that we have always tried to find within ourselves. These are our secret desires and passions. So what happens as we grow up is every time we have an experience and we have a feeling that is uncomfortable, we tell ourselves that was unsafe. That happened because I did this, so I will not do that again. I let my guard down. I will not do that again. But then unknowingly, we create these subconscious ideas and patterns and these neural pathways that just keep going through the same line, through the same path. But we can create a new one. So subconsciously you can hear, well, I can't let my guard down, so I'm not even going to try, so I'm not even going to go after something that I want. So then a desire that pings a subconscious fear, we will tell ourselves anything. We will give ourselves every excuse in the book to not go after that desire. But we can break the pattern. Every little choice that we make that is slightly different, waking up and brushing your teeth with the left hand instead of the right, honestly, these can change your lives. These little patterns, if you consistently add in little patterns, drink water consciously and allow yourself to listen to meditations while you are taking sips of water to hydrate, because it allows your brain to be more open and you can remold it. So in the morning, when we are so susceptible to new information, utilize that rather than scrolling on your phone or putting on the news. Give yourself some intentional time to work with how you are really feeling and allow yourself to just be still within it. And it is remarkable the kind of change that can happen when we apply these practices consistently. So I hope that you are feeling some relief as we move forward. These are heavy energies these days, but they are lightening up. They are lightening up. And if you have been doing the shadow work that has been required during this time, get ready for your rewards, because they're here for you. And if you have been avoiding the shadow work, it's okay, because it's time to do it. And the planets are on your side, and it's gonna move through. It's gonna move through quicker than you think, all right? So this is my video for the Scorpio New Moon. I can't be perfect, and I'm not gonna try to be, but I can just be me and give you my opinion. So that's what I'm here to do. Sagittarius season is coming up soon. By this Gemini full moon, there will be such vibrant new energy moving through us, moving through the world. We are making a decision to do the shadow work, to heal. Everything that has been coming up has energetically been here. It is time that everyone be held energetically accountable for what they put out. So if you are here loving and trying your best, the universe sees that. And you can trust that you are supported as you walk this path of your heart. If you'd like a personal reading, click the link down below. I would love to help you out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.